Anyway, so we did it with the Paladin deck. And now we're going to change. We're going to get Druid done, hopefully pretty easily here. This is the J Druid deck we were using last week. The one thing I wanted to add, oh, we do have Earthen Scales. I couldn't remember if we had added it or not. Oh, we only have, oh no, we do have 2 copies. Okay. So we got to take something out. I think a second Earthen Scales against Lich King is going to make a lot of sense. And I may take Primordial out because we don't want him to, oh wait, he does something, I got to remember he does something completely different against Druid. And we may want 2 Gadgets and Auctioneers as well. Actually. You know what? Let's just try it with the way it is, and then we'll make adjustments. Because I don't even know what he's going to do against. Alright, so this is going to be Druid versus the Lich King.
Look at your hand, champion.
And I think...
Are we really so different, you and
I think J Druid pretty much is going to roll over Lich King. We may have to make a couple adjustments to survive. I think that's probably the only issue is not running out of health. Because as long as you get to the point where you're cycling the Jades over and over and they become bigger and bigger, that's why I was thinking maybe adding a second Earthen Scales is going to make this matchup a little easier. And this is what we wanted, Wild Growth.
truly righteousness that drives you.
I think everything else we'll throw back in case we get any other... And getting Nourish is also good to draw the cards. Okay, if we innervate out this, next turn we'll have 3, we do this, turn after that we'll have 5. And we'll draw cards. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. This is sort of making the assumption that ramping is what we're wanting to do here. I think my only question is, like, how do you survive turn 7? We're about to find out what he does to Druid here. All minions that cost 3 or less wherever they are. Did we have many minions that cost 3 or less? No, just the one in our deck, I guess. Okay. Alright. So we potentially can nourish 2 turns in a row if we want. So we're getting behind a little bit here. We don't need to ramp anymore, I'm assuming. Just draw cards.
Job done.
Okay. Guess we could go ahead and ramp with this. Might as well, right? Maybe we need the minion, though. Yeah, survival's getting to be scary. Oh, this is pretty good. Why not slow him down this way? He's pretty well set up for swipe right now. Ooh! Do we go ahead and get him out? What can we do besides play swipe here? Not a lot. Just get more taunt out? Let's do it.
The circle of life is over.
I don't think it makes sense to have poison.
Embrace your new power. I have already won.
We could just give one of our taunts +3/+3.
How long can this go on? How long can this go on?
So if we play 2 cards, we'll have 5. We don't really need the Nourish is kind of a dead card now in our hand. Let's go the other way. Let's.
The land serves me.
So it was just frozen for 1 turn. Didn't know how that was going to work. So if we do 2 damage,
Feel my wrath.
okay. It's so weird that we haven't drawn into a Jade yet. We're going to be slowly building those Jades. Okay, that's a thing. It's doing 11 damage next turn. That's not very fun.
Golems are a girl's best friend.
Are we gonna survive? I don't know. I think we'll be able to do it with this deck. I think we had a good start. We've just got to get a little luckier on. Oh wow, that's interesting. A little luckier on getting our Jades going. It's crazy. We're gonna try to hold on, and Earthen Scale's a really powerful Jade, but we're just not growing Jades fast enough. Swipe here would help a little bit. Man. How much damage is he doing? 4. So next turn he'll do 5 damage. Wow. So we know we need to do this.
I will guide you.
That is scary. That's a scary minion.
I got the best deals anywhere.
There we go. Interesting. Seven's not enough, is it?
Nothing but ash.
That might help. So that's 5. We can get a total of 8 armor next turn.
The dark path is my
It might be close here.
Winter is here, and it's cold.
Might be close here. Of course, if we're going to do that. So we have to what? Win. He's got 51 health. 7. We got to trade one more time, don't we? That gives us 1 taunt. Alright, how are we trading?
Time to pay.
Nothing but ash.
I don't know. He only does 6 damage this turn, I think? Or is it 7? Okay. So you see how Jade works. We just got to start growing our Jade a little sooner. I think putting a second Earthen Scales might be good, but I don't think it's necessary. Right? I think we're probably just going to... When we get, like, a really good RNG, we're probably just going to roll right over him with the Jade, but Earthen Scales can give you an extra couple turns.
Lich King!
So I don't know. Might have been worth putting a second one in there.
I must protect the wild.
Is it truly righteousness that drives you?
What's really important, I think, is getting the ramp early, though. More important than having Jade in your hand. We have some draw mechanic, but we don't have ramp yet. Alright, first one we'll summon. Okay, so that's not right. In this matchup, you should always... Well, we'll play it out a little bit. You should always Don't summon on turn 1 because he has the special ability that destroys that minion. So there's no reason to summon. I mean, the reason would be you want to start building it up, but it's not worth it, I don't think. Because now we have to shuffle there.
Your demise is inevitable, and no emote can express your shame.
My thanks to you.
No one orders me around. The land serves me. Nice to meet you. Some still none shall feel my wrath.
Alright, we'll shuffle next one.
Some still
Golems are a girl's best friend.
invincible.
For the wild.
We've done a much better job of growing our Jades this game. Maybe we just draw here.
You die now.
I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8.
You are no fun.
We go ahead and cycle here. Okay. Set it up for potential swipe next turn. I think we are going to actually go ahead and do that. This gives us a turn by having all the taunts up, basically. He can't get through all 3 of them. It's kind of a waste for right now. We overdraw if we play that. 4, 7, 8, 9.
The land serves me.
That minion already attacked. For the wild.
Okay. All depends on what we draw here, I think.
How long can this go on? How long can this go on?
That could be helpful.
The dark path is my destiny.
Feel my wrath.
Okay.
I got the best deals anywhere.
We could have used that a while ago.
None shall pass.
Winter is here, and it's cold.
Do we last another turn though? I guess we might.
Behold the rage of the Firelands.
Time to pay.
So we're gonna take 6 damage next turn.
Nice to meet you.
This gives us 5 armor.
The circle of life is over.
Embrace your new power. I have already won.
Three. Maybe we just make him do the attacking. I think that's right. If he has obliterate,
The dark path
we just
is my
lose here, but
destiny.
what is crazy is that we can't swipe an actual minion. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Wow.
Time to pay.
4, yeah.
Time to pay.
Okay. We'll see. I guess so he does 7 damage, 8 damage next turn. Blizzard still kind of wrecks us.
Spirits, I
Oh.
will guide you.
We've got lethal here, I think. 24, 34. Yeah. Alright, so that is beating Lich King with Jade. That that seemed a lot easier than the other matchup that we tried. And I think that basically
There must always be a Lich King.
I think basically the Jade, if you just get the basics of Jade, even without the legendaries and rares and stuff, well, you might need rare, but it's just a much cheaper deck, right? It's pretty easy. Jade's an easy first one to do. So apparently once we beat him with all 9, we get a special reward. I don't know what it is yet. I haven't looked it up. All right, let's look at our deck list that we have used so far. So what you just saw us was using Jade. And let's look at these real quick. So you could do it without Fandral. It just makes life a little easier because you don't have to have the perfect like draws. He kind of makes up for it a little bit. Swipe ended up not being that important, but I think sometimes, I mean, it's worth having though. You definitely want some of that removal. Spreading Plague was so helpful. And then Auctioneer, good to have. Behemoth was good because of the taunt. And honestly, Black Knight, he plays with enough taunt in his deck that you definitely want Black Knight if you have room for it in your deck. And then, of course, with Druid at least, having Primordial Drake was good, just more removal. If you get to the point of using Ultimate Infestation, you're probably good because you get so many cards to choose from, plus that armor helps survive. So, yeah, Jade seemed very manageable. A little unlucky the first attempt, but the second attempt went really well. And then, in case you missed it, this was the Murloc Paladin deck we used earlier. And the basics of this deck that you can do with almost any class, not every class because some of his special abilities make it where it won't work. But with many of the classes, as long as you have War Leader, no, sorry, let me start with the bottom here this time. As long as you have Gentle Megasaur, War Leader, Cold Light Seer, Rockpool Hunter, Murloc, Tired Caller, and Grimscale Oracle. So basically the powerful neutral Murlocs, and then just fill in the rest of the deck with some of your class Murlocs or a couple more Murlocs from neutrals. And especially make sure you include a few removal spells. The idea with this deck is you're going to actually beat him on turn 6 or 7 if you kind of get the really good start in terms of boosting all your Warlocks and Murlocs and them surviving. But I had some ways to deal with his turn 7. I had Equality, Wild Pyromancer, as well as Consecration. I think, though, from what I was seeing with my testing, is if you get to turn 7 and you're not beating him with this deck, you're probably just needing to restart. Not that it's impossible from there, but it gets really messy from there. Once you start losing losing the board if you're not dominating so much by then that you're in position to win with like a really good war leader, gentle Megasaur play, then it's probably not the way to go. But so that's what we've done so far. We've done Paladin and we've done Druid. I don't know what I want to do next. We've got 7 more to go. It'd be nice to find some like creative ways to do it with other classes besides just using all of the Murlocs, because again, you can do Murloc not only for Paladin but for Rogue, Mage, Priest, Hunter, Warlock, but that feels a little boring. It just depends on how expensive the other decks that they recommend using. The thing you have to remember is you can use Wild in this matchup, and I honestly don't have a lot of Wild still unlocked. I never play Wild, so I disenchanted a lot of those cards, so that's going to slow me down a little bit on some of the deck ideas that are out there for the different classes. But and, you know, a lot of what I was reading on Reddit was that if you don't have Gentle Megasaur, it's still very doable. So even if you don't have this, and if you haven't been playing Murloc decks, you may not have gotten it as a purple, you know. So, and it's 400 to create that. So if you don't have it, don't feel like you have to make it just for this one encounter. And since it's a previous expansion, you may not care about it that much anyway if you're not using Murloc. So don't waste your dust on it if you don't have it already. Just try it with, you know, the Grimscale Oracle, Tide Hunter, the Rockpool Hunter, War Leader. A lot of people are saying to use a card that I don't have. It's a neutral from Journey to Ungrow, which I didn't play that expansion at all, is why I don't have a lot of the Journey to Ungrow cards. But it's a cheap one to make, and it says if you control another Murloc, discover a Murloc. So that's kind of a fun card. Like, if I was going to play Murlocs a lot, I would probably create that card just because it's so cheap. In fact, let's go ahead and create it. Because that's a fun mechanic. And actually, I have the Murloc quest right now, so maybe I'll do that. Play with that. I wonder if that would work in the... What was I playing on Ranked that was so good? The Murloc Paladin deck. I wonder if there's room for this card in there. I think the only issue maybe is it slows it down a little bit, but... I want to finish this quest we have. The Murloc quest. Let's see if we can get something better than the Druid. I don't want to have to play Druid again. Watch and learn.